this segment, we will be graphing linear equations into variables. Before we talk about linear equations into variables, let's talk about the fact that thus far, we know that some equations into variables have more than one solution. In fact, many have an infinite number of solutions. We will look specifically at what we call linear equations into variables, so let's look at a definition of this. A linear equation into variables is an equation that can be written in the form ax plus by is equal to c, where a, b, and c are real numbers and a and b are not both 0. The graph of a linear equation into variables is a straight line. We will practice graphing linear equations into variables in just a moment, but first, let's make sure we can recognize a linear equation into variables. For example, is this a linear equation into variables? Can it be written in the form ax plus by is equal to c? The answer is yes. Notice here a would be the coefficient of x, a would be 1, b would be negative 1 and 5/10, and c is negative 1 and 6/10. This is a linear equation into variables. By the way, we'll be graphing later, but its graph then is a line. Let's look at another equation. What about y is equal to negative 2x? I'd like to determine whether this equation is a linear equation into variables. Can it be written in the form ax plus by is equal to c? Well, the answer is yes. What if I simply add 2x to both sides of this equation? If I do, I'll have 2x plus y is equal to 0. So it is written in this form, ax plus by is equal to c. A is the coefficient of x, which is 2. B is the coefficient of y, which is 1. And c is this constant, which in this case is 0. Yes, this is a linear equation into variables. Let's continue deciding whether we have linear equations into variables. What about x plus y squared is equal to 9? Is this a linear equation into variables? The answer is no. Because the variable y is squared, this is not a linear equation into variables. It's not of the form ax plus by is equal to c, because x and y both have that understood power of 1. This y has a power of 2. This is not a linear equation into variables. And then finally, what about this equation? Is this a linear equation into variables? Can I write it in the form ax plus by is equal to c? The answer is yes. I can write it in that form by writing it as x plus 0y is equal to 5. And now I have it in that form. A is the coefficient of x, which is 1, b is 0, and c is 5. This is then a linear equation into variable.
Thanks, Elaine. You're welcome, Mr. Rubio.